I'm Jennifer McEwen, and I'm the CEO of Datum. This is Jeremy Fair, and we're co-founders. And thank you for the opportunity to tell you a little bit more about our company. Thanks for coming. Okay, so at our core, Datum empowers communication. Specifically, we empower nano-targeted communication, which is one-to-one communication between a brand and a consumer. And for years, this has been kind of the end game of digital marketing, but the cool thing is we do this now, and we're doing this today. Okay, so in order to do this, Datum collects and ingests and catalogs 5 terabytes of data a month. So does anybody have a cell phone in the room? Okay. Has anybody looked at their cell phone since they came in 301 Congress? Okay, a few of you know, a few of you yes, a few of you might check it while I'm talking, and that's okay. But when you engaged with your cell phone, an interaction took place, and data actually transpired. And that's what Datum does. We capture that data, and we do it at scale across the United States all day, every day. We do this outside the walled gardens of Google and Facebook, which means our data isn't dependent on a user interacting in a particular ecosystem. It happens outside those walled gardens, and we collect that data. So what does this process look like? First, we have to collect the data, and it is over 10,000 queries a second of data that we collect. And when you get the data, it's ugly, it's dirty, it's messy, and it's unusable. So the technological innovation is putting this data in a bucket and structuring it to make it usable, to make it rapidly queryable for whatever you want to do with it. So we collect the data, we organize the data, and then we make it usable. And here are a couple of different queries that we run. A lot of it is related to geolocation, but we can do it on app usage, language, intent, pretty much anything. Okay, so I'm asking for a volunteer who might be willing to answer a question on the fly. Anyone? Raise of hands. Okay, gentlemen. Could you tell us roughly how much time a week you spend opening your mail? Not your email, your paper mail.
I probably spend 10 minutes a month.
A month on the mail, okay. Could you share with the group how much time a week you spend watching broadcast television commercials?
Commercials?
Commercials.
Little to none.
Okay.
Maybe during a football game.
Could you share with us how much time a day you spend on your mobile device? Like, do you know how to check that on your device? Okay, if you go to settings, you can open your device, you can go to settings, and there's a button on there called screen time.
So you want my daily average?
Yes, your daily average, please.
Can I hedge a little bit?
Sure, sure, absolutely, absolutely.
I listen to podcasts.
Yeah, okay, all right.
6 hours and 53 minutes.
6 hours and 53 minutes. Okay, so I don't know if anybody else is like that. I just took a person to say. So my background is actually political science. I am a quantitative political scientist, and I've spent the past 15 years taking data and making it usable in the real world. And this is one of the problems that I encountered in 2016 and 2018. In the political marketplace, 60% of the spend is invested where you spend 0% of your time. So I began wondering, why are we doing this? This seems like a complete waste of money. And what I found is the data infrastructure didn't exist to really support political campaigns. And so there wasn't the ability to use data in the way that we have innovated in order to handle that spend. The real world marketplace, very similar. Actually, you're very close to average, 6 hours and 35 minutes a day versus TV, radio, and newspaper. And we still see that the spend doesn't correlate to how people spend their time. So we wanted to see what happens when you nano-target. We did some case studies. This is a case study. There was an election yesterday. This election actually just wound it up, and this is a candidate in Florida. What we saw is when you nano-target, you use our data, you target digitally where people are, you win. And that was kind of the bottom line. We win campaigns. Higher engagement equals winning. So the political market size in 2020 is going to be roughly $10 billion. And I think all of us can agree that the 2020 election is going to be a barn burner as far as spending goes. So we are positioning our data in order to capture that $1 billion a month spend, to basically be the data that underpins the digital spend in the 2020 election. But that's not even the coolest thing. The coolest thing is while we're doing that, we're ingesting data on the back end. I bet most of y'all would be surprised to know that when campaigns are finished, so is the data. But if you capture the data on an ongoing basis and apply AI to that, you learn. And so our data stack is going, we will have the competitive advantage of capturing the data for the 2020 election, organizing it, holding it, applying AI, and monetizing it. We do this on hundreds of thousands of apps. You'd be amazed at app usage and what we see in the marketplace. So what about the commercial market? Our principals, we have dozens of commercial clients that we do the same thing. Our commercial engagement is 3 to 4 times higher engagement than our customers see in other media buys, which is reducing their cost of advertising and increasing their ROI. So our 12-week performance, Joe was right. We incorporated 1 week before this program started. So far, we have done $250,000 in GAAP revenue. We have an additional $300,000 in forward committed revenue. And our number of campaigns span business, political, and the transportation sectors. Now, we also know that we live in a regulated environment, and some of this might sound kind of spooky to you guys, that wow, you have all of this data and all of this interaction that goes on in the United States. But regulation is actually to our advantage. We have 20 years experience in regulatory environments, so we are already building a company that is GDPR compliant. We use 100% cookie-free data, and we are ethically centered. Our team, I'm Jennifer McEwen. I'm a quantitative doctor of political science. We have Jeremy Fair, who is our data ninja with 20 years of marketing experience. James Grace is in the back. He's our general counsel and veteran lobbyist who keeps us apprised of all things regulatory. And Travis Oliphant, who's also in the room, is our technical advisor, and he's personally overseen the build of our stack, and he is the co-founder of Anaconda, so he was the obvious choice of the person to do that. And with that, I'll take questions. Thank y'all.